Hello. Last class we studied about the while loop, and today I am going to explain you about the do while loop. The syntax of the do while loop, if you see here, the syntax is written here. First we have the do, then we have the statement, and we have the while and condition. This is the syntax. So what is the syntax here? Here I am writing on the notepad. Syntax is do, and after do we are opening the curly braces. We have the statement, that is the statements, and after the statements we will close this curly braces, and after the closing we have the while and we will have the condition. And remember, in the do while loop we are going to put the semicolon. Okay, so I am going to write one program is write a program to print number from 1 to n using do while loop. Okay, so what I will do, first I will declare the variable because there is the n, so this is the n, and for the n I will take the data from the keyboard, console.write enter the value and what n equal to convert dot to int 32, and then we will have console dot read line. And now what we'll do, we will start the do, and this is the curly braces, this is the close because I'm going to write in between these, and of course I will close this bracket also. This is also not close. Okay. Okay. Here what I will do, I will print console dot write line. What I will print? I will print the I need to declare here I console dot write line I, and here we will have a while condition is what, I less than equal to n, close it, and here I plus plus. Initial value I did not give I equal to 1. Run this program. No. What is the problem? Problem is this is the extra I give the value 23 and it is coming up to 23. So if you see here, what I did, the initial value on the top, increment decrement inside, and condition is outside. Now question is, what is difference between while and do while loop? So come to the slide here, and here is the difference between these two. General form, this is the syntax available. Then the controlling condition. In the while loop, the controlling condition appear at the start of the loop. So they are talking about, in the while loop our condition is on the top, on the starting. In do while loop the controlling condition appears at the end of the loop. If you see the do while loop, our condition is at the last. Number one. Number two, iteration. The iteration do not occur if the condition is first iteration appears false. So in the while, if condition is false, statement will not be executed. But here in the do while, if condition is true or false, at least our loop will be executed one time in the do while loop. If you see here, first it will execute print, then they will check the condition. So remember, in the do while loop our loop will be executed at least one time because they are checking the condition at the last. So first statement will be executed, then they will print, then condition will be checked. This while loop is called entry control loop and do while is called exit control loop. Here in the while loop, semicolon not used, and here in the do while loop, use at the end of the loop, we are using the semicolon. So this is the difference between while and do while loop. So here is also one program is there. Leave this program, no need. Okay, so I am going to give you one another example of do while loop. Now what I am going to do, I am going to not print, I am going to write a program to find the factorial of any number using do while loop. Okay, so what I will do here, this is the n and this is the I, and another variable we need to declare, this is the fact equal to 1. Okay, and here fact equal to fact star I, because I we are going to iterate. Run this program, give the 5, not coming. This is actually the fact, you know, this is the problem here. At 5 is 120. So this is the one another program using do while loop. So see the program, analyze it, there is no difference. What is the difference? Only difference in the syntax. Initial value on the top, everything inside the statement, and condition at the last. Come to the next. Next is C# break statement. The break statement in C# has following two uses. When the break statement is encountered inside a loop, the loop is immediately terminated and program control is resumed at the next statement. It can be used to terminate a case statement. Actually, the break statement is if in our program anywhere we can find the break, the program execution will stop. Whenever there is a break, it will stop the execution. And another use of the break is we are using the break statement in the case statement. This is the example. Go through the example, very easy. If let us give you one example of the break statement. I am going to use the for loop, easy loop. Remove this. For int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 18, and I plus plus. Then we have what I am going to do. I am going to print it console.writeLine, and I am printing the I. And this is, if you see, if you run this, it is coming here. Now what I am going to do here, if the value of I double equal to 10, if the value will be 10, then what, you know what they will do? They will break it. Break it. Break. See here, when 10 came, execution is stopped and no further line will be executed. This is the use of break. If you want to break based on any condition, you can use it, the break. After the break, we have the next is continue statement. The continue statement in C# works somewhat like a break statement. Instead of forcing termination, however, continue force the next iteration of the loop to take place, skipping any code in between. Let us give you example. Break statement I gave to you. In the break statement, what they are doing, whenever there is a condition met and break is there, they will stop. But here in the continue, when the condition met and continue statement is coming, that condition only is skip, and after that condition will meet, condition is skip, and after the condition it will start the execution. After example, it will be clear. For the for loop, continue statement cause the conditional test and increment portion of the loop to execute. So here, let us give you one example. Here, this is continue. Okay, and another is if I equal to 15, then again what they will do, continue. Okay, now you see this program, the result. Console.writeLine. See here, if you see the result, see what is there. When the condition meet and continue, it means this number I number 10 is not printed here, and number 15 is not printed here, because the continue statement work is, if you see here, the continue statement some work like a break statement. Instead of forcing termination, the continue force the next iteration. They will not continue to stop, they will not stop forcefully, they will continue for the next iteration. Okay, so this program is, you know what, this program is write a program to print number from 1 to 18. Okay, skip 10 and 15. So remember, maybe objective question will be available, what kind of statement we are using if we want to skip anything based on our condition. So if you want to skip means not execute, leave that. So we need to use the continue statement. Okay, so this continue statement we can use inside the loop, we can use in anywhere, whenever the requirement is there, we can use the continue, we can use the break. So there is no any limitation where we can use everywhere. So this is about the loop. We studied about the for loop, we studied about the while loop, we studied about the do while loop, and I explained to you what is the difference between while and do while loop. And I also explained you about the description of the for loop, and I gave you lot of example using for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So for you practice whatever program I explained to you using the for loop, you practice through the while and do while loop. Come to the next. This is the example. Nested loop. You know, nested loop means what? Nested loop means a loop statement inside another loop statement. That is why nested loop are called loop inside a loop. So inside one for loop, another for loop is there. This is called the nested loop. So I am going to give you one example of the nested loop. Example of nested loop. Example of nested loop. So I am going to write one program. You see the output. I am not going to tell you what output will come. You see yourself. Int I equal to 1, I less than equal to, let us take the 15, and I plus plus. This is the first for loop. And another for loop I am going to write, int j equal to 1 and j less than equal to I, and we will have the j plus plus. And here I am going to print the console dot write. I am going to print what, you know, star. I am going to print star. Okay, and here we will have the console dot write line. This is only the write line, and after this I am going to close this. Here is the semicolon. Run this program and see this is a triangle. So here the nested loop basically work like a row and column format. This is the row and this is the column here. If you see here, if you see the program here, the first loop is basically printing the row and another loop is printing the column. If you will change it, if for example if you want to print 10 only, this is the 10. So here you will find here this is only the 10 is available. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So this is printing the column, and another loop is printing the row. So this is the one example of nested loop. Okay. Come to the next. We have the next one is nested loop. Just only I'm giving you one example because we do not have much time to give you more example. Array. Let us explain you about array. What is the array? We are declaring variables. Whenever we are going to write any program, we need to declare variable, right? Why we are declaring the variable? We are declaring variable to store value. Okay, and in one variable we are able to store only one value. Sometimes we need to store more values. So if we need to store more values, what we are doing, we are declaring more variables. For example, I give you one question to you. Write a program to find the sum of 5 number. So we are declaring the 5 variable. Easy. If total number, if I tell you write a program to add 100 number, so you have to declare 100 variables. Mushkil. So here we have the concept of array is there. In one array we can store more than one value. What we can do? We can store more than one value. This is the use of the array. So here array are using to store similar data type grouping a single unit. We can access array element by using the numeric index. The array index start with 0, the default value of numeric value. This I will explain to you. All the array consists of a contiguous memory location. The lowest address is okay. So what is the array in the general? In the array we can store more than one value. If we declare one array of size 10, so we can store the 10 value. In the array, if we declare integer type array, so we can only able to store integer type data. We are not able to store double or float type data. So remember, in the array, whatever data type of the array is there, same data type data we can store inside the array. If we declare one array of integer type, we can only able to store the integer type data. We are not able to store the double or float type data. So here is written here, array are using to store similar data type, same data type, grouping as a single unit. We can access the array element by its numeric index. We'll explain you what is the index. For example, I declare one array. For example, I declare one array of size 10. Okay. Size 10 means, A is the name of the array, and 10 size means we can store 10 data. For example, I store 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 and 10. This 10 data I want to store. So in the array, all the array we have the index is available. Array is the index. Let us give you one example. We have flat available. In the flat, we have ground floor, we are denoting with the 0, first floor with the 1. So same here, the array index we are starting with the 0. So and it will go, so array index start with 0 and it will go up to n-1, where n is the size of array. It means here the first index is what? The first index will be 0 and last will be what? Size is 10. Size is 10 means n-1. 10 minus 1 means the last index will be 9. because if you start from the 0, the last will be 9. Okay, so remember, very important question, the array index always start with 0 and it will go up to n minus 1. Whatever size is there, size minus 1. All the array, here I start with 0. The default value of numeric array element are set to 0 and the reference element are set to null. This is not needed. Leave it with the 0 only. 0. All array consists of contiguous memory location. Contiguous memory location means in the memory, one by one our data will store. The lowest address correspond to the first element and the highest address correspond to the last element. So here lowest element, the first one is the 0, lowest one, and the last element is the highest one, that is the maximum index. The same thing is written here. How to declare the array, how to create the array, how to access the array, how to add the data in the array, I will explain to you. I will explain to you after some time. Types of the array. Array can be divided into the following categories. We have the two categories of the array. One is the single dimensional array and another is the multi-dimensional array. Single dimensional array, only we have the row is available, and in the multi-dimensional array we have multi-dimensional array is also known as rectangular array, is an array with more than one dimension. The form of multi-dimensional array is a matrix. If you remember the matrix, in the matrix we have the row and column is available. So here in the multi-dimensional array we have row and column is available. The simplest form of multi-dimensional array is the two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array means we have the row and we have column is available. This is the one example of multi-dimensional array. First come to the single dimensional array, how to create the single dimensional array. So come and I will give you one example how to create the array. So I am going to create one array. To create the array, first we are going to write the data type. We are going to write the name of the array equal to new int, and here we are going to write the size 10. This is the way to create the array. So I have created one array of integer type and name is a. Let us give the a. A is the name, integer is the data type, and 10 is the size. It means in this array I am able to store 10 data, 10 value. So how to store the value in the array? A index 0 in the angle bracket, or for example I want to store the 90, so the 90 will be stored in the first position, in the 0 position. A I want to store in the first position. What I want to store? I want to store the 23, so the 23 will store in the first location. Like this we can store the data inside the array. This is the first one-dimensional array, single dimensional array. Now I want to print it. How to print? Console.write. What I want to print? I want to print the value available in the first location. A value available in the first location, that is the A0. See, in the array, if you want to add any data or you want to print any data, we have to use the index. Array index. In which position you want to store the value. In which position you want to store the value. If you want to print in which position, which value you are going to print it. Right? So this is the way to create array. I think you got it. The syntax of the array is, what is the syntax here? I am writing the syntax how to create the array is SYNTAX. Syntax to create an array. Single dimensional array. What is the syntax? Data type and name of array, array equal to new data type, and here we will have the size. This is the array. Example is what? This is the example. Example is what? Example is the same. This is the one example of the size 10. This is the one example. This is the syntax and this is the example. Maybe I will ask the syntax in the descriptive question. Okay. We can create the array of the integer type, we can create the array of float type, we can create the array of character type, we can create any kind of array we can create. We can also initialize the array like the variable. When we are declaring the variable, we can also give the initial value. So for the array also we can initialize the array. How to initialize the array? Let us tell you how to initialize the array. For initialize the array, after giving this, give the value in the this bracket. Inside this bracket we have to need the give the value. I am going to make it size 5 only because I will give only the 5 value. So 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. If you will give 6, you will get the error here. You see there is an error because the array initializer of length 5 and you are giving the 6 value. So we need to give only the 5. No error. So now if you want to print 0, what will be printed? First value 1 will be printed. If you print it, it will printed the 1. So if I am going to print the let us give you one example. Console.WriteLine, I am going to print A3. A3 I am going to print. You know what they will print? A3 means this is the 0, this is the 1, this is 2, this is 3. So 4 will be printed. 4. 3 will not print. This is the 4 is printed here. So maybe I can give you one objective question in this. I will write this program and I will tell you what is the output. The same program might be available there. Yeah, this is the program. Delete it. Go up. Delete it. And what is the output? Right? So if I am giving you here 4, what output will come? Output will come 5 because size is 5, index is 4. So this is the 0 index, this is the 0 index, this is the 1, this is 2, this is the 3 and this is the 4. So if you run this program, you will get the 55 actually. Here is the 55 is written here. Okay. If you want to print any other, like I want to print the true value, console.WriteLine, and what I want to print, A0 I want to print, 0, the first one I want to print. So here if you run this program, 55 and 1 is printed because in the 0 location the first value is available. Okay. Now question is for example, we have the one array of size 10. Size is 15. Let us take the 15 and I am going to add the value 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So 15 value is there. What I want to print all the value. Okay, I do not want to print only single value. I want to print all the value, So if you want to print all the value, because there is the 15 value is there, and one by one all the value will be printed. So to print this, we need to use the for loop. Int I equal to 1. No, I equal to 0. Because index number is the 0. And I less than 15. Less than 15 means it will take 14. And I plus plus. Here console.WriteLine. What I will print, I will print the A. I will print console.WriteLine. I will print A and here is the I. Close it. Yeah. If you run this program, you will find your all the value is available here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the one example how to print whole array at once. Okay. So this is what? This is about how to print all the array. Now come to the slide here. So you know about the array, how to declare the array, how to initialize the array, how to add the data in the array, how to print the data in the array. This is all about the single dimensional array. Now come to the two-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional array, I already told to you. In this here we have the two-dimensional array. The two-dimensional array can be thought of as a table which has x number of row and y number of column. Following is a two-dimensional array which contains 3 row and 4 column. Here if you see here, this is the 3 row, 1 2 3, starting with the 0 1 2, and column is column 0, column 1, column 2, and column 3. This is the one example. So for the two-dimensional array, just only you study the theoretical part. Practical part I will not ask you in the exam. For the array, what I told to you, so this will be available there. So now regarding the final examination, in the final, this is the last, and this is the last slide I am going to close. I am going to close our course. And regarding the final exam, study well. Objective question will be available. You know, you give the mid exam, so easy. So like this, our question will be available. Okay. And if any question, please do not hesitate to ask to me. Okay. Thank you very much.